with me, and that's why I'm talking about it, the people business, right? You meet people when they basically stick with you on the hard time. You are very much appreciative of that, and then I mean that creates a partnership that will last for a long time. Now each time I have lots of trust in them, and we like to work together. So that's why I'm talking about. Sometimes it's more even important. Like you read a lot of things about contract. You know, contract with your GC. Make sure that you have a very good contract. Yes and no. For me personally, my handshake and my trust with the person is more important than the contract, because the contract means that you don't trust them, right? So once you really establish this very deep trust, I feel like it's more important than any contract. So that's the way I look at it. And again, not everybody is comfortable like doing that, but I go with my feelings on this type of thing. So that's after 7 months of lots of nights where I didn't sleep, to be honest. I still went to the end, and we closed, and I said, okay, even if I don't make any money, it's still going to be a super learning experience. And I finally made roughly $30,000 on this one for my first fifth. I said, I remember when I signed the document on the closing, I went in my car and I just screamed like all the 7 months, you know, came out at once.
Yeah.
But I have to say it was a great experience.
Good. So a couple of things I'm hearing from you is you're very much learning based. So you did your book learning, but then you went to the School of Real Estate and you're learning as you go, you know. And then number two, you're building your team. So, you know, and sometimes your team lets you down and you've got to expand your team. And then third of all, I like what you said, that this is a people-based business. You know, you get your contractors and they're loyal to you, and they're gonna do their best work for you. And that's the way to do it, is to build those relationships. So I think you've just accomplished a lot in this short amount of time since you got started, just over a little over a year and a half, and you've accomplished a lot. So I think you're going to encourage all of us to think a little bit bigger and maybe tackle some of those bigger projects that we've been afraid of.
Yeah, I think that's where you grow, right? I mean, I'll be honest, I had to push myself outside my comfort zone a lot. I mean, honestly, I'm, again, with my background of science, I'm super analytical, you know, trying to anticipate all the problems that potentially could happen. Unfortunately, you cannot do that with real estate. You have to take the problem when they come and try to solve them, because you can never anticipate everything that's going to happen, right? So once I change this mindset to, okay, I'm going to figure it out, that little sentence right there, I'm going to figure it out, change everything, because it was lifting a weight out of me, right? It's like before completely stressed, and then, okay, I'll figure it out. I already made some progress, so I'll be okay, right? So after that, again, in February, I purchased my second rental, and that time I used MLS. Actually, lots of people say there's no deal on MLS. There's still some deal on MLS. We need to find them, right? But you have to work a little bit harder with them. You have to, I mean, the strategy I was using on this one, I was telling you, is that you buy it, and then you do your inspection. You leverage your inspection result to basically say, okay, wait a minute here. There's some problem with the house. You're gonna have to work with me to make the number work. So I typically I ask for reduction based on the GC quote I receive. I'm not just saying,
you're not just throwing numbers out. You get that scope of work, and you have the numbers there to prove it to them of, this is what it's going to take to get this house rent ready. Do you want to work with me, or do you want to have to go back and try to sell it again? So no, that's great negotiation strategy.
So that's what I use for the two. The last one, I purchased my third one in July, and that's where I'm at for the rentals. And that was my ultimate long goal, is to have cash flow. That's really what I'm looking at, is cash flow. Flips, I do them just because I'm trying to have capital that I can invest in long-term rentals. But I'll be honest with you, Gloria, it has been slow with those rentals, the small single family houses. I feel like it's a little bit slow, and that's where I went to the next level now, trying to go into multi-family.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm focusing my effort right now. In June, I mean, I cannot go through all the process, mental process, but basically lead me to enroll in a program with it's called the Warrior Program with Rod Cliff. If anybody is interested, Rod Cliff is a great, I would say, mentor. Its podcast is excellent. It will teach you a lot. And the importance of going to this type of a group is that you come across people that are already doing much more than you are doing, right?
Mhm.
So they are at the next level. Like this group encompass roughly 500 person, and they own together more than 45,000 doors, if that makes sense.
Wow. Wow.
So this is another level, right? But you have to go to this type of person, because for them, he always say, I want to be with people that think what I'm thinking is hard, they think it's easy. And that's exactly right, because that's how they pull you up, right? So now I invested in one. I did the same strategy that I did for the flips. I say, okay, I'm going to invest in a syndication. Syndication is where basically people put their money of investor together and they buy a big apartment complex. This one was 166 units in Florida, in Sarasota. So basically you invest your money, and your money brings a return. But you can learn through the process how the syndication is working, and that is what I wanted to do. So I'm looking also at property around here to work, but this is even more important to have a team, because tackling those big projects, you need a team. It's literally somebody that finds the deals, then somebody that will run the number, somebody that will raise the money, and somebody that will potentially do the asset management. So this team work is really, really even more important, because making a mistake on a multi-family deal with multiple $1 million involved, that's a costly mistake.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So
that is really what my next step is, that basically going to multi-family and trying to get the flipping business in a more of a cadence of 10 or plus pips per year.
wow.
That's where
Okay.
I'm right now.
Well, I was going to ask you what your number one advice is for new investors, but you keep saying the theme over and over, the same theme of build a team, build a team. So is that what your advice is for new investors?
That is one of them. Again, I would say the sentence I like is like, always come with an empty cup. Be open to learn, don't come with your preconceived ideas, because you don't know what you don't know. So be open to learn. And that leads me to the next advice is read. Again, I showed you, I have a lot of books here I want to show you, because I think mindset is the most important. Think about it. If you're an athlete, a high level athlete, if you don't believe that you can win, you will never win. And here is the exact same thing. If you don't believe that you can do it, you will never be able to do it. So the first thing I worked on myself is that, again, believe that you can do it. And this is sounds very simplistic, but it's so hard, because you are fighting against your own mindset, that the fear, there's so much fear when you go in real estate. It's like the fear is always saying, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. And but when you don't fight the fear, you never grow. So that will be my main. And the more you read, the more you get a little confidence, because you learn more things. When you go into a new field and you have no idea of what you are doing, that is very scary. But then when you start to learn through the process, you get more confident, and by building your confidence, you get more eager to do more, right? It's it's like the compound interest of confidence. So it is really important. And I'd like to share some book, if you don't mind.
Sure. No, go ahead. Yeah.
So the first one, as I said, I will show it again, because that's a mindset shift. This book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, is not very going into the details. You don't need to, but you just open your mind and say, one of the best sentences is that you cannot do something. How can I do it? You know, you don't put the ceiling, because we tend to put the ceiling right away. So we say it's the same thing like shoot for the star, because even if you land on the moon, you still achieve something big. It's the same mindset of going above and beyond what you think you can do. So that's the first thing. For now, more specifically for real estate, that's some of the best books.
That's my favorite. I use that one all the time. That was one of my favorites. Yeah.
It's great, because think about it. They're actually studying. So as a scientist, I really like this one, because they're studying people that are successful. So if it worked for those people, why would you not take the same strategy that they use?
Exactly. Don't reinvent the wheel. Just do what they're doing.
No, do not reinvent the wheel in real estate, because people have been successful. 90% of the millionaire, right, did it through real estate. It's very well established. You just follow the recipe, basically, right? So for more specific one, I like the Bigger Pocket books. This one, Managing Rental Property. This one, if you want to be a property manager. I read this book and I say, yeah, I do not want to be a property manager.
That's what it's like. I haven't read that book, but I don't want to be a property manager either. So,
and once you read it, you understand why. It's pretty cool. There's lots of steps involved. So this one also I like. Also Bigger Pocket, the book on rental property investing. This is also a more general book, you know, about rental. It's very good. Then once you want to do flips, I will recommend two books. The book on flipping houses, also Bigger Pocket. This one is great. Honestly, this one is really good for flips. And on top of that, the second one that comes with it is a book on estimating rehab costs, which is always the hardest part in flips. Honestly, it's not too difficult. The numbers, it's not rocket science. To be honest, it's like ARV and rehab cost. If you get those two numbers, you are successful.
Right.
So that's